Asiyen phambili sizwe sakithi, and let's enjoy the celebration.
It's a united front that shows the ANC can move forward, and it couldn't come at a more significant time, the party's struggling to overcome rifts and factions.
Humanitarian workers in southern Sudan say they have been overwhelmed by the sheer number of refugees fleeing from the volatile Blue Nile region into the south. Thousands of desperate hungry refugees are seeking shelter in the south, where food is in short supply. Kenya and the United Arab Emirates have sent relief supplies to help the refugees. We have details of that story in this report.
And his native land to flee many kilometers on foot to this refugee camp in Duro, South Sudan. He arrived over a month ago with 4 of his surviving children.
We were carrying my daughter for about 3 hours and she died. Then my wife died from injuries after contracting malaria.
Thousands of other refugees like Joshua are fleeing from the Blue Nile region on foot to seek refuge in neighboring South Sudan. They are fleeing in droves because the Blue Nile area has become the target of frequent attacks in the conflict between the two countries. They have found temporary refuge here at this camp, but they face other difficulties here.
And they've arrived with very limited food, no water. They arrive in very difficult conditions. The road is difficult to go through. They are tired, they are hungry, they are sick.
Hundreds of tons of food and relief supplies airlifted in from Kenya and the United Arab Emirates are being distributed by NGOs, but it's not enough. Over 40,000 refugees are living in overcrowded camps in South Sudan, and more are expected.
We'll now take our second break. Sports is next. The Gambia National Paralympics Committee is calling for urgent help to send 2 of its athletes to the United Arab Emirates to take part in the London Paralympics qualification series. The GNPC have lined up a number of activities in the coming months to put their wheelchair athletes in perfect shape ahead of the match qualifiers. Our Babakar Senghor has more on that story.
The dawn of a new year is a moment to reflect on the activities of the previous year. For others, a period to look ahead in anticipation of what is to come. And for the Gambia National Paralympics Committee, it is a period to enhance some reputation and have a shot at some remarkable records. The GNPC, after what was a truly busy 2011 calendar, is aiming to have 2 of its members prepare in time for the wheelchair athletics Olympic qualifiers in Dubai. The association has been making such headway that competition at home has become less of a motivation to these wheelchair racers, and they are now taking aim at what is in store for them on the international stage.
The team was supposed to go to Mozambique on the All-African Games qualification for the Paralympic Games, because the Mozambique was used by the International Paralympic Committee as a qualification slot for Africa. And us not being able to take part due to lack of funding was really a big setback to us, our preparation for the Paralympic Games. But basically now that we have this opportunity of taking the athletes to Dubai, the reason for Dubai is that Dubai has offered to give us free accommodation, food, refreshment and transport within the activity. And that we have to only look for air tickets and also pocket money for the athletes going and the officials.
Despite the enthusiasm and optimism exhibited by the Paralympics members, there is something that has dogged them for years. Why weren't you participating in international competition?
Well, it's because of funding, like as I outlined before. So even the Save the Mission seminar, which I attended in London, I have to sacrifice to get to London on only an air ticket, return air ticket with no pocket money, just to make sure that at least we find ways of developing sport for persons with disabilities in the Gambia. And the same thing happens again when I was going to Beijing. I'm doing all these things because I know this is what we're really liking, because if we get there, we can get contracts, we can get connections to people who can able to make a change in the country. And thank God that has happened. So like Dubai has offering to give us free accommodation and food and refreshment and transport within the event. So all we need to at least get our athletes there.
With the March 2012 qualifying series for the London Games for Paralympics athletes in sight, the two athletes, Aissatou Nyang and Demba Jaju, are hopeful of competing and representing the Gambia at the Games. Their coach Basiru Fai says he has seen enough of the two wheelchair athletes to suggest that they will not disappoint when they turn out in Dubai and subsequently in London. Dubai and London will be silently waiting to see the two Gambian wheelchair athletes, but only if, in the words of their president, they can secure air tickets and personal expenses to fly out to participate in the Middle East. For Grts Sport Days, Babukar Senghor.
And before we go, a reminder of our headlines. The newly appointed Chief Prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, Fadou Bensouda, has been named Person of the Year 2011 by the influential Gambian News and Report magazine. The women of Kombo Central District have closed ranks to better their lot through a revolving loan scheme. Nigeria is teetering perilously on the brink of all-out war. This as Christians threaten to retaliate if attacked by the militant group Boko Haram. And the leadership of the African National Congress and tens of thousands of supporters have thronged the city of Bloemfontein to mark the centenary of the continent's oldest liberation movement. You can follow our stories on other GRTS programs live on our website at www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio Live. That brings us to the end of the news. Thanks for keeping us company, and do enjoy the rest of our programs. Until then,
His Excellency the President has done it, and we are all living witness to it. So that was why actually when he asked for another mandate, people did not hesitate to renew his mandate for the fourth time. Expectations, I should tell you, are high. What we are really expecting from His Excellency is consolidation of the already infrastructural and other developments that he has done. If you look at it holistically, normally people will concentrate or focus on only the infrastructural development. But His Excellency, I can tell you, have gone beyond that.